Hey, welcome back to Two Stupid Guys for Stocks. I'm Dylan.
I'm Vinny.
And we may be having a generational buying opportunity on one tech giant that may be fallen from graces here, as well as a deal on another. We have SPY and Qs at all-time highs, but there are two stocks that we may be getting a huge deal on coming up.
Two stupid guys trade stocks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely remember the Korean Nazis.
Yeah. So here's what I want to talk about. All right. Now, we did a video like this before looking at the mostly stocks in the Magnificent Seven. I hate to throw Tesla in there, but whatever. Technically, it's in there. And at the time, Meta was the best deal on the market. And that was like
Okay.
$150 ago. That was like $350 a share or something. And that was, I don't know, like 3 months ago. It wasn't like a long
It
time
was,
ago.
yeah. It wasn't that long ago time-wise, but the market's moved a lot since then.
Yeah. So we're going to take a look at those stocks again and some recent things that have happened that are creating possible buys. So this is Google's Blunder. This is not really news, but basically, if you were to go in on their Google AI Gemini, type in "show me a Nazi," this is what comes up. It's not accurate.
Yeah.
They did the same thing. They had like African American founding fathers and something else. I don't remember. Very
Couldn't tell
basically, they went woke and are changing history. Is what that means.
you. Yeah, woke to the extreme because it can cut both ways, I suppose, when
Yeah,
you're trying to be all inclusive.
it was kind of shocking, but just from that, Google's had some weird AI slip ups, right? They showed Bard, and then the video that they showed looked awesome, and then it turned out that it was cut in real time to make it
Yeah.
look that awesome.
Yeah.
They dropped 4.4%. That's a lot from this. That's like, it was like $50 billion. No, it was more than that. It was like $70 billion or something like that in market cap from this.
Yeah.
Like, this is fixable. I don't think this is a big deal. Do you?
No. I'm getting kind of excited. All these kind of negative Google headlines are pushing me towards maybe we have that meta moment coming soon, where if they miss 1 or 2 quarters in terms of having solid revenue or margins, that we could get a significant discount in Google stock. It could be that generational buying opportunity we were talking about.
Yeah. And for the record, I did buy more Google because of this. Because, I mean, I already have 125 shares.
Nice.
I bought, I don't know, like 15 more, not like a ton, at
Yeah.
137. And I don't
Okay.
know who Daniel Ives is. He's saying it's way overdone. There's a massive opportunity. There's a million of these analysts that go back and forth.
Yeah.
But, so this is Meta's. This happened in the last 48 hours. So professional American football players, a group of people in the American colonies, and the founding fathers. Again,
I mean,
interesting.
I think I have seen a video that looked like that professional American football players, but I'm not sure if it was actually like real football.
Yeah.
The
I
thumbnail
don't.
looked similar, but
It's pretty much the exact same thing, but I don't think the market has had time to react to it yet. So
yeah.
hopefully, Meta drops like $25, which would be like 4%. Pretty
Yeah.
nice. Now we're gonna take a look at some charts, so I can show you, and we're gonna take a look at a discounted cash flow value of each of those stocks. So then you can actually see which ones are the best deals. Deals in quotes.
Okay.
The white line is all-time highs for these charts, okay? So SPY, we're there. Qs, also there. Google, we're actually going towards the 200 moving average, which is that blue line. It's
Yeah.
usually a hefty bounce off those in a bullish
Yeah.
market.
Someone called this like a descending wedge a little bit too, honestly. Interesting. I
Okay,
don't know.
all right.
You're more the technical guy than I am on that stuff, but
I, you know, there's a million different patterns. To me, if it's above the 200 moving average and the SPY and Qs are at all-time highs, short of a disaster, that's a pretty good sign to buy.
okay.
The Meta, sorry, above the 200 moving average. Meta, all-time highs. Don't need to stand this long. Microsoft, same thing.
Okay.
America's most valuable company. Now, Apple, chilling at 179. Can you see my arrow?
Yeah.
So I actually just bought some Friday. There's a little swing trade because they have hit this 4 times. Now, here's the trade-off. This actually on any other stock is actually a bearish pattern when you set a
Uh-huh.
lower high each time, right?
Yeah.
But it's Apple, and we are hitting all-time highs, and they're right at their 200 moving average. So this does break every technical indicator that I'm doing. I'm doing this purely because it's Apple. I don't think they're
Yeah, I
going
know
to
it's
tank.
below the 200. Yeah, I understand that there's support at 180. That does kind of look like a hammer there on the last candle too, but like how much confidence I'd have in interpreting this pattern, I would think would be not very great.
Yeah, if it weren't Apple, I wouldn't do it. But I did buy some Apple. Nvidia, no explanation. I don't know. It's super high.
Nvidia go burr.
Yeah. Tesla, I did a weekly chart too because their all-time high is more than double they are right now when their net
Okay.
worth was 1.3 trillion. All right, and Amazon almost there.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to the better stuff here because you can't learn a
Okay.
ton from charts. So,
Yeah.
Apple, you can see that they're actually valued higher than they usually are in their recent 12, 13-year history. These are PE ratios, okay?
Hmm.
To the right, Google slightly lower than usual in the last like 7, 8 years. Not crazy.
Yeah.
Microsoft, almost as high as they have ever been.
Hmm.
Let me move these up. Amazon is a little bit of a different situation because there's less history because
Yeah.
they had a crazy PE before this that ruined the scale.
Hmm.
Nvidia, this was actually kind of surprising to me. I would have thought their PE was like gross, but it's actually about in line with 2022.
Yeah, that's gonna be forward PE, I think.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, just
And
double
then
check. Yeah.
Meta, a little bit higher, not the highest.
Yeah.
Actually, not terrible. Tesla's not on here because they only have like 4 years of profitability, and then the PE was like 2,000, and then the scale's ruined. So I
Yeah.
took it out.
Fair enough.
So here's the good stuff. All right.
Okay.
So this is via Finbox. This is the. You want to go over the left here?
So this right here is showing their free cash flow yield, basically on the trailing 12 months. This is I didn't calculate this. I use the Finbox numbers. I usually calculate a little bit differently because I'll take the enterprise value and I use the trailing 12 months free cash flow. They did not use enterprise value; they use market cap only. Which, when you get these tech giants where they have $100 billion in cash on their balance sheet, can kind of be a little bit less effective of a measure, is my thought process. But this allows you to kind of get an approximate yield on what your investment would be if you're buying a 2% bond versus a 4% bond is kind of the thought process there, with the potential risk of also adding on that it is a equity, so it's much more volatile, meaning up or down. So that's the hard part that's to
Yeah.
predict.
Sorry for opening an energy drink. I just had another baby, and the baby is not sleeping at night at all. Great time. So Google actually has the highest one, 4.1%, right? High numbers are the higher the better. Apple is
Mhm.
second and Meta is third. Those three also have catalysts. I didn't put AI as catalyst because almost all of these have short of Tesla have
Yeah,
that as a catalyst. They're all in that field. It's actually very different,
Musk would
by the
disagree.
way. Huh?
Musk would disagree. He says they have AI at Tesla
Yeah,
too.
what are
The
you gonna
robots
do?
on wheels.
This is kind of there's a little bit of a sidestep, but it is interesting because during the dot-com bubble, you had all these companies that were large but had no sales and then failed. And you hear a lot of people that are saying AI is just like that. It's not. This is a revolutionary change. It's completely different than the dot-com bubble. One, your leaders are the richest companies on the planet and
Hmm.
have also going into AI. It's not the same thing as a dot-com bubble. That's a very annoying thing that people are saying because they had no sales. All of these guys have hundreds of billions in cash. Not the same thing. That
Yeah,
they're generating more money than I think they're all combined 50% of the SPY or something
yeah.
disgusting. It's
In terms of
not
profit,
close. Yeah.
yeah, it's some seen metric like that. Yeah.
This is not the same. I don't. That's an annoying comment. But Google, the problem is how big can these companies get, right? You have Microsoft, who's already at 3 trillion. Google is a whole, 1.1 trillion less. Meta's still probably, in my opinion, the most attractive
Hmm.
in
Interesting.
terms of market cap, which is gross because,
Yeah.
we're looking at it like they're very overvalued because they've like quadrupled in 12 months, and I'm very
Yep.
bitter about it. Um, but Apple has a catalyst of the VR headset. I'm not going to buy one. It looks awesome, and it's crazy to see something new in their balance sheet. Google and Meta's catalyst are being woke AI. I shouldn't have put catalyst. I should have put possible buying opportunity. But
Okay.
yeah, that's what those mean. So really, I'm still sticking with Meta, Apple, and Google are still possible buys, pending what happens in this coming week, right?
Okay.
I think Google's reaction was way overblown on 4.4% for that stupid thing, and
So,
I'm gonna if that happens to Meta, I'm gonna be happy about that.
yeah, part of the question here with Google is their dominance in search is phenomenal, right? Like everyone, you just Google things, right?
Hmm.
Some people have transitioned to now using Chat GPT as their primary search tool. And that's what the worry is that in the next generation of kind of searching of the internet is that Google will no longer have this massive dominance of like 90% or 80 whatever percent of the search market, and that ChatGPT or whatever competitor has the most effective AI powered search tool will have that dominant share of the marketplace. That's the concern around Google. Um, I Yeah, feel free to like give me your thoughts on that.
Well, what's the generation below it? Gen Z, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm in We're both in medicine. I do telehealth visits for part of my day. The amount of young 20-year-olds who don't know what a URL bar is shocking, and they just go into Google and search the site. They
Yeah.
don't understand that there's a difference between Google search and what a URL bar is. I feel like Google's fairly segmented into just how people think. They
Yeah.
didn't. The amount of times that has happened is shocking. To where
I
I
believe it.
literally give them a link, they copy and paste the link into Google search, which brings them to the generic site. They'll say, "Do the URL bar," and they're like, "I don't know what that is."
Yeah, I don't know the difference. Yeah. Yeah, I get that. A couple of points though here. So one, Apple has kind of hinted at them having a generative AI product coming out potentially sometime this year. All right. And the question is, will that replace Google as a search utility on Apple products, which is a massive installed base, right?
I don't think
That
so.
that is I don't think so, at least initially. And Apple has had poor success in their voice, like assistant, right? Siri is like one of the worst ones.
All right,
And yeah, finish
I'm going
your,
to give
yeah,
you an
go for it.
example. What phone do you have?
I have an Apple iPhone.
Yeah, me too. They're not better phones.
Yeah, okay, it's a network
Android is
effect.
better. I'm an Apple user saying Android is 100% better. We do it
Okay.
because it's an Apple and it's a blue box. That's the only reason that we do it is because of the convenience of the blue text box and not the green text box. That is
Yeah,
the
this
only
ecosystem
reason
effect.
I have an iPhone, and they have kept me for like 6 iPhones now.
Yeah. I have Apple TVs, so that's what I use for streaming devices. So that's really my major network and iPad. Um, I'm sorry, iPad. The But the point is, you're saying that it's not the best technology. I'm saying that Apple is in a position where they get to dictate what you use, whether or not it's the best technology to a degree.
That's
And
fair.
if they decide that they're going to say no more Google as the kind of default
That would be a
search,
problem.
and that their own generative AI is, that's going to be a big like kind of mover of the industry long term. That's what some of these issues with Google are coming out. However, I still own Google, and I'd
Yeah,
be plenty happy to buy more. My cost basis is like $97 a share, so I'm a little bit under 100. I would be interested in buying if we get back to 100, and I would be like a life generational buying opportunity. Anything below 80, probably, in my opinion, on Google. And it's possible that if this negative sentiment continues to build over a couple quarters and they miss a couple numbers, we could see that meta-like sell-off in Google stock and be able to buy it for these ridiculous prices.
yeah, that'd be pretty awesome. All right,
So,
guys, let us know what you think. Have a good one.
okay,